I'm going to show you how I make applesauce. And the first thing you want to do is you want to go to your local food kitchen kind of specialty shop, and you want to pick up one of these. And I think they only have like one main kind. And the idea is that what happens is, and I'll demonstrate this later, you stick an apple on here, and then as you turn it, it peels it, it cores it, and it slices it, which makes the whole process much easier. So the first thing you want to do is you want to start out with 3 pounds of Empire or Macintosh apples. And as you can see, I'm using Empire. You can also see that one of the apples is starting to go a little bit because I got the apples before I went on a business trip, and now that I'm back, I'm making it. So I'll show you how to do that. The other thing I want to show you is something that I saw at the grocery store. You get these apples and you get the little things on here, and sometimes when you try and pull them off, you can actually dig into the fruit. So what you do is you take a sharp knife, you go like that, and voila. So the first step is to get the little tags off, and then I'm going to put them in a bowl, and I'm going to squirt them with some fit, and then I'm going to rinse them, and then I'm going to put them in the little contraption I showed you, and then chop them up, throw them into the pot, and then I'll go over all the recipe ingredients. But this way you can see how the whole thing goes. This would take much longer if I had to peel and core and slice these things by hand. So I don't think that thing was even very expensive. I think it might have been 14, 15 bucks. You use this thing once and, you know, you make applesauce just so you can play with it. And it's good for the kids to do too. So 3 pounds of apples is about 6 apples if they're this size. I discovered after the first couple of times that I made it that I wanted to double the recipe because we went through it so quick. All right, I'm going to get the apples set up, and then I'm going to show you how the machine works, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we got all our apples washed, chopped away the part that was starting to go. And so what you do is you're going to use this lever, you're going to put this down. I'm doing it sideways. Normally I do it like this, but you're going to be able to see it better the first time if I do it like this. So I push this in, which means I can pull it back, and I can do this, but this is going to be tricky. So when you use this lever, you put it down, pull the lever back, whoa, pull the lever back, and now it's solid platform. I usually go on the top. I think you can do it on the bottom. You just want to push this once. You don't want any wiggle room, okay? It's a big apple here. I can move that out of the way like that to get this on. And right in the center. Okay, and then I can move that back. Okay, now, this is a pro tip, okay? Pro tip on your video. The pro tip is, once you're going, it's going to engage here. That's going to begin the peeling process. When it gets through here, it's going to core and slice. So what you want to do is, once you get started, you don't want to stop, and you don't want to vary your speed. That's the pro tip. Okay, so here we go. You may also have to stick your hand to catch it. See how it's going in that one nice big peel? I'm going to catch it over here. There we go. And voila. Okay, so this is the part that I'm then just going to take a big butcher knife and chop. And I'll probably go ahead and not put that in. It's okay to put the skin in, but I think most people like it without. So you can eat a little bit as you do this. So you push this lever in, you pull this back out. Notice that it left the core, which is great. That can go right down the disposal. Meanwhile, the peel, if you manage to do this with perfection, looks like this. That entire apple peel, one long string. I suppose there could be some craft project you could do with it for Christmas, but who knows. Okay, so I'm going to chop this apple up, then I'm going to throw it in here, and when I get that in there, I'll be back with you. So sometimes you have this situation. This particular apple had a slightly rotten section I had to carve out, and sometimes you'll run into this situation. Look very carefully. The core is spinning, but the apple is not. So basically, you're kind of stuck at that point with this particular apple. So what you do is pull this off. Okay, kind of discombobulate it. And then with this particular one, what I would do is I would just go ahead and cut off, sort of, in fact maybe use a slightly different knife, kind of do a rough peel. And then I'll do that, and I'll get the rest of it off, and then I'll just go ahead and chop it up. Incidentally, on the chopping part, what I usually like to do is cut it in half, then take this part and go chop, chop, chop. And now you've got these small pizza-shaped wedges ready to go into the pot. So I just thought I'd show you that, that mishap that sometimes happens. Okay, so 3 pounds of apples, about 6 apples, will make 6 cups. So since I used 6 pounds of apples, I'm going to end up with 12 cups. But I'm going to tell you the recipe for the 3 pounds of apples because I think you should start there and then you can always double it like I'm doing. So what you do is you've just got your all your apples chopped, sliced, and so forth in there. And then for the 3 pounds of apples, you're going to add a half a cup of water, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and 1 3-inch cinnamon stick. And you're going to mix it all up, cover and simmer, stirring occasionally until the apples are soft and falling apart, 20 to 30 minutes. If you got a good heat, I'd say 20 minutes is fine. Make sure you set the timer. And so we'll do that, and then I'll get to the rest of the recipe. Okay, so it's been 20 minutes, and you can see that the apples are actually pretty mushy right now. They're not all stiff like they were before. So at this point, all we really want to do is boil off a little bit of that liquid and then mash it up some. And we're going to add in some additional ingredients in a moment here. Okay, so I kept the heat up a little bit higher and boiled off a little bit of the liquid so it's all kind of the same consistency. And then when it's basically done, you put in, if you want to, which I always do, 2 tablespoons of butter and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And it makes the whole house smell really good. Now remember, I doubled my recipe, so I've got more butter and vanilla in there than you would. But this is just awesome, amazing stuff, and the whole house smells like warm applesauce. And it is good. In fact, I'm going to have some right now. So there you have it. There's the applesauce. It's wonderful. It's got no gunk in it, and it's really good. So, next time on Dano's Recipe Channel. See you later. Oh, and we include pro tips. All right. Bye-bye for now.